So it's crazy. I'm sitting in my Uber yesterday, stuck in ridiculous traffic. Actually, James Gishuru, that's a menace. But I'm there and I'm like, okay, I don't want to go home right now because it's taking way too long. Maybe let me stop somewhere on the way. But I'm a very social person. I don't like to sit alone. So I go into WhatsApp and I'm messaging my friend and I'm figuring out what are the plans for the evening. But as she's taken her sweet time to respond, I think, okay, let me just keep myself busy. And I find myself on Instagram. And within 5 minutes, I have looked at 20 videos, I have laughed at two, and I've shared maybe over five. 5 minutes, actually, which is ridiculous, isn't it? Maybe I need to do a bit of some checks on that personally, but I think that's the big question is with digital platforms is that there are two elements that come with it. There's the aspect of connection, and that's exactly what I was doing while I was discussing with my friend on our evening plans. And there's also the aspect of attention, where digital platforms really do lure you in. And today I'm joined by our guest who's going to take us into that world a little bit. So, welcome, Bismarck, to our little discussion.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, that was a very good introduction and very good stories. Yeah, so let's hope we flow in and maybe I give my perspective in terms of how these applications play around and how it connects with us at some point and how what information they collect in terms of
Mhm.
the logarithms that they collect in terms of monitoring our behavior and giving us feeds.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's just get into it. What do you think? What was digital platforms' real design? Was it connection, bringing people together? Or do you think that there's an element of attention that was also designed just to really capture people, and that's how the model really blew up?
I believe the initial design of most of these social platform
Mm-hmm.
was connectivity, was to connect users and uh, shrink the space between people so that people can connect and build communities. But over time, there's a bit of attention that has erupted from these social platform where now individual rather than connecting they want to be recognized, they want to be here, they want to be seen in terms of their content, what they share, in terms of what they post, and in
Mm-hmm.
terms also of what they see. Are you getting? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I think it started with connection, but over time it has morphosized to be, it's all also about attention. I want to be seen. I want to be noticed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
So essentially,
Mm-hmm.
right, people like to interact and people like to talk on a daily basis. Identity is shaped a big part by our social interactions.
Very true.
But before, it used to be very simple. It would just be me and Bismarck, it'd be
Mm-hmm.
me and, so and so,
Yeah.
and it would end there. But with digital platforms, our social identity is shaped not by one person or two people, but by billions,
Yeah. True. True.
across different spans and different spaces.
Yes.
But on social platforms as well, it's not all good information. Just like us in real life, it's not all good things that shape you, but they're
Yes.
bad things as well.
Yes.
So, how much of that would you say a platform in itself should design and cater to make sure that individuals don't really get all the bads that
Okay.
come their
Okay.
way?
Okay. So most designs, when it comes to this platform, they've come up with policy that protects the users, getting the terms and condition on which information it's okay for you. Getting, for example, when you talk about TikTok, they really want to know how old are you first. Are you
Mm-hmm.
getting? So that information, when that information is collected, they'll know, hey, this particular guy is 13 years old, for example. I get it. So this is the kind of content he's supposed to consume. When we go to X, for example, X has ability of blurring most explicit information. I getting. So it gives you ability to consent if you want to view it or you don't want to view it. But now in regard to other platform where now all this information just comes in, and it's you to pick and you to actually want to see a particular information. Are you getting? So for that, I don't think if it narrowed down basically for to the application, but for our curiosity as users, because human beings, we are curious by nature. Are you getting? And some of these information, when they come, you'll just find we have that interest of viewing it. So let me break let me break them down like this. We have a platform that has regulations. I getting, and this regulation is prompting us to agree that the kind of content they give us is okay. But we also have platform that gives us everything. Now is us to choose, and this everything has been designed for us to consume even more. Going back to your introductory statement about your experience, you going to an app and consuming a lot of information for a long period, for a very short period of time, that has been designed that way. That by the time Madam X leaves this platform, we need to make sure that she consumes at least these level of content, because also we design a platform to retain our users. Are you getting? And we may talk about that later.
So you've mentioned something very important is we design.
Yes.
Right? The attention economy
Yes.
has been put on the hot market in the sense of, especially when it comes to digital platforms, is that design element is very deliberate in the sense of how they curate an algorithm and do this hyper personalization. So, TikTok is very, very good at that. You go into a different country, it already gives you all these different restaurants, these different sites to see, because it wants to make sure that you have the best possible experience on the platform. But at the same time, there has been the argument that companies, or rather these kind of platforms, are feeding into the negative aspects of people to pull them in. So envy, greed, that FOMO effect, and it's now bringing in a lot of mental health type of questions and discussions into the matter. And at the same time, it's also pulling in platforms because people are saying that it should be their responsibility to regulate this kind of information. So at the same time, as much as we're putting pressure on the platform, how much responsibility do you think the user themselves should have? And how is there meant to be this healthy balance created?
Okay, so a platform has been created, and the moment you sign in or you create an account, you're building your profile. You're actually building a behavior. I getting. So it depends. So day one, you've created an account, you've uploaded a profile picture, you've sent a friend request to a particular person and everything. So over a period of time, you're building a persona. I getting. And you are actually communicating with that platform of who you are, whether you are giving real information or information which is not true. That platform is understanding who you are. I getting. And then in return, it's going to give you information as per the profile you've created. I get it. So you've asked at the level of responsibility, do we Should the platform be responsible, or should the users be responsible? I think it cuts both sides. I get it. There is a level that the platform needs to be responsible. We will understand these mostly using maybe election period of time where governments complain that platform have been pushing agendas favoring one party and everything. That comes from that responsibility angle. But also, us as users, we need to also be responsible in terms of what do we search and what do we see online. I get it. If the content I'm seeing is not user friendly, the platform will give me more of that content. I get it. So who do we blame here? Do we blame me as a user, or we blame the platform for giving me what I've requested?
Okay. I think when we're talking about responsibility, I mean, even drinking age is 18 plus.
Yes.
So we can say maybe adults. What about children?
Okay.
How we factor in how much misinformation is coming to children, because we're looking at all the safety aspects, but they're the most vulnerable part. And I think this is now where I would say it's the platform. The platform as well, how they design it is to again, bringing it back to the emotional responses, and this is something that a lot of people criticize, is that digital platforms know what they're doing when they're designing these apps. So this hyper personalization is not purely just because I'm feeding it information, but it also knows the trigger points in terms of behavior and what to push out. So even misinformation, that's why we have a lot of trolling, a lot of like bot accounts, rage baiting, is because they know that those things feed a lot into that. But yes, I as an adult can say, I'm coming in, I'll log off. Where do children and child safety come in with this design?
So most designs have really tried to put some caveats so that they can try and regulate which kind of content that young people see. So you'll find most of application. Let me give for example, Netflix. I getting for Netflix, you can create a profile for your kid, and you define the age bracket in which your kid is under, and they will try their level best to show content in terms of that. But now, this is where it's controversial. It will pick animation and all those, just kid content. I getting. But now, some of these, even animation, are adult content. I getting. Now your question now as a blessing there. I getting. Now let me view it different, or let me address it in this angle. So is it a platform responsibility? Because some of these content are branded as a child content, but in real sense, when you go deep and view it, actually they're not child friendly and everything. I get it. So is it maybe a parent responsibility, a guardian responsibility, or a platform responsibility? Let's also not forget that most of these platforms, they're actually doing business also. I get it. So it's a responsibility for a parent to go an extra mile and see which kind of content. Yes, this is what it has been recommended for my kid to see, but do I know what my kids are seeing actually? Are you getting? So if we, it's a broader discussion that both sides needs to play a role. Are you getting? Both sides needs to play a role. The content giver and the content receiver both needs to play a role. And in this side, I'll weigh more on the guardians who allow now this content to be given to kids. I'm going in that direction because most of the platform, they don't allow onboarding of
Minors.
of minors. So if but you'll find some guardians create accounts for minors. I getting, and when you do that, now it becomes very hard now to control which information your kid or your minor is actually consuming.
Okay,
Yes.
fair enough. I mean, I will say I do agree with there being a balancing approach. However, I do think that platforms in themselves also need to be conscious of how they're doing their algorithm systems
Very
and
true.
how they're feeding like off of certain patterns to people
Yes.
as well. But let's say now we're talking a lot about the attention aspect of this,
Okay.
right? And how we obviously know companies use our watch times, they use our likes and just our general patterns.
Yeah.
And now it's become a pure business aspect for them. Keeping me on the platform longer
Yes.
is what makes them money,
Yes.
you
True.
know? But do you think they're still doing what their main purpose was, the connection aspect?
Yes.
In what ways?
Um, you will like what interests you, and I can term that as a connection.
Okay.
Are you getting? You will comment to what interests you. That's the reason when you go to maybe Instagram, out of 20 scrolls you'll make, there's one that maybe you'll bookmark, you'll save, you'll like, you'll comment. Are you getting? So it's all about let's give this much information to see how many of this information will be accepted, and then we can capture in terms of how many will receive comment from this particular person, how many will receive likes, and then we can give now a feed with related information so that if for example I was doing a search. For example, I wanted to buy flowers. I get it. And then for a short period of time, I discovered everywhere I went online, it was just flowers. Going to Google, there's ads, flower ads. Going to Facebook, there's flower ads and everything. And I was like, damn, do this guy even hear my conversation? Because that was just a call I was making and asking where I can do that and everything. Are you getting? So for them, for the designers and developers of these apps, they really want to understand our niche. They really want to understand what we like. Are you getting? And so that we can capitalize on that. Are you getting? Because if I realize that you like drinking, I getting, I won't bring you something which you won't approve. I'll bring you more drink and more drink and more drink, and we'll be so close to each other. I getting. So all this platform works like that. I getting. So it's all about, let me understand what Bismarck likes. I getting. And then if I understand what Bismarck likes, if the content he like is of this nature, then that's what we will give more of them. Because you'll understand, even in terms of monetization of this content, it comes in the same line. So out of all those 20 rails that you scroll, there are 2 ads that you view, maybe 1 you click and everything. Are you getting? So it's all about this platform understanding what we like. Are you getting? And then now giving us information in terms of that regard. So the flip side is how much information can we consume in regard to what we like? Because your logarithm can change within a very short time. Are you getting?
Yes,
If you like wedding photos and everything, that's what you receive. And then for a short time, you just like a meme which is not even related to wedding. And then tomorrow you just find your feeds and everything has really changed. So is it a flawed in terms of the feeds giving, or is it in terms of just trial and error and see in this other niche how much information can be consumed with this particular person? Are you getting? So I think that will be my take in regard to that.
So they're stalking us.
Yes, to some extent, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because most of these applications, when you install them, you give them permission to access your camera, to access your microphone, yes, and to access all those things. So they get all our information and try now to manipulate that information now to sell their product to us. I get it.
So I think this is the part again we'd bring back to the mental health aspects, and I think that's why a lot of people are trying to look for balance
Yeah, true.
in their life
Yeah.
because social media, as much as it does bring you maybe back to connection in terms of messaging and like immediate communication, it does seem that people are searching for that connection outside of these platforms. So we're seeing a return back to the real world
Yeah.
in real life
Yeah,
activities,
true.
book clubs, run clubs, music karaoke nights with friends,
Yeah.
and that's how it's coming back. I do think though the difference is that is maybe as it's coming back, we're still using social media to advertise those spaces. So perhaps these digital platforms, instead of having connection for relationship aspects, we also are seeing maybe relationship for now business. So would you say these platforms are now purely just for business? It's really now just for connection. And let's put an asterisk on that and maybe say dating, because I know some people would think dating, well, social media dating apps, but there are also flaws with that because you're having all the negative sides that come in from that. So is it now just a business model and the connection element is purely outside of that realm, or what's your take?
Okay, let's try and analyze them on a niche basis. I think there are some platform that I've really tried. For example, religious platform. I getting you'll find there are some religious platform that rarely do they monetize anything. I getting is just to give information and all those things. But now, when you talk about now the business aspect of some of now, you've talked about advertisement and all those things. When you talk about now a different niche, it comes from an angle of business. I get it. So if it's not about me associating with my friend, it's about me receiving an information about the nearest bouquet or the nearest hotel or the nearest Airbnb and all those things. I getting, and all this information it's compounded from my interest. I getting, it has been compounded from my interest, from my search and all those information. So over a period of time, as we try to go back to now building a real relationship, we've created dependency on this application. Don't forget that this application has our data, has our history, I getting, has all those things. And over a period of time, we've created dependency. I remember there was a time, I think Facebook was down for some hours. I think 6 hours, there were some hours. And you'll discover that everybody is complaining. And people are complaining because there are so many businesses that depends in Facebook in terms of advertisement. There are us users who are just depending on Facebook in terms of connecting, checking on friend. The other bloggers I getting who are just depending on Facebook. I getting. So over a period of time, despite the fact that we want now to build a real relationship, we find ourselves in a quagmire where now there is so much information we've given to these social apps that makes us go there over and over and over again, even if subconsciously we don't want to go there. Are you getting? How many times have you just woken up and just the first app? Oh, let me put it this way. What is the first app you open when you wake up?
I'd say maybe, okay, after my Bible app, it would be Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a routine.
Yeah.
Are you getting? And sometimes you just want to see what is the world all about. Are you getting? You just want to see all those information. Are you getting? So if we take Instagram away from you, you'll feel a bit of you has been taken away.
Would I? Or would I be more grounded? would would I come back to the real world a little bit more? Would
But
I
you will
maybe now?
struggle.
Why
But you
would
will
I
struggle
struggle?
because you see, a habit has been created.
Mm-hmm.
You see, a habit has been created. It's like when I wake up in the morning, every time I come to work,
But
I
that's why
get
you
it.
call it a habit. Doesn't that mean I can just create a new habit? Meaning I'm detaching from the world of socials and of just digital platforms and I'm coming back to the real world, you know? I'm learning how to cook again by going for cooking classes. I'm not watching a video to do any of these things.
It's okay, you can
Mm-hmm.
learn, but there's a bit of struggle because
Mm-hmm.
learning new experience or building a new program in terms of how you do things takes time. I
Mm-hmm.
get it. If I was giving you an example. If I come to job every time and I've been doing this for 40 years, I get
Mm-hmm.
it, and then I retire, I
Mm-hmm.
get it. It will take so much time for me to reprogram myself and hit me, then yaje, you've retired. I getting. So you need to
Mm-hmm.
change program, not waking up at this particular time in the morning because there's nowhere you're going. I
Yeah.
getting. So you need to reprogram yourself. So I'm talking in that regard. I getting. I'm
Okay.
talking that regard. So when we over depend on this application, well, we find ourselves just going there just to see what other people are doing without necessarily going to do anything. I want to give you an example. I have a Facebook account. I get it. I post in my Facebook account in on my birthdays. I get it. So that's once a year or twice a year. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I do. But um, out of maybe 12 hours or 13 hours, my active hours, you'll find that I go on Facebook maybe 5 or 6 times. I get it. To
Mm-hmm.
do nothing, not to post, or maybe just to see what other people are doing and everything. I get it. So even though I may be open for a new direction in terms just building real connection, there is a part of me that has been consumed over a period of time that, lack of a better word, it has enslaved me to that particular platform.
Okay. I
Yes,
definitely hear you. I think that connection, I'd say connection is more so in information, and maybe that's the new form of the purpose of these apps. No
yeah,
longer
true,
just
true.
to bring people together, but more so to give us more information that we wouldn't be able to get on our day to day basis. You know,
Yes,
you talked
yes,
about retirement. I
yes.
don't know if you're heading that way soon. I'm joking. But you know, so I can understand
Mm-hmm,
wanting to
mm-hmm,
see, you know, different information
mm-hmm,
constantly. But I will bring it back just a little bit to the attention aspect
mm-hmm.
because you do talk about posting on your birthday and things like that. And I do think there's still an element of validation, and this is what the attention economy really is about. And you
Yes,
know how they use that behavior to make you feel like you're missing out on something. So, you know,
yes,
you'd post on your birthday so that someone posts happy birthday too, and
yes,
things like that. So,
yes,
there are two parts of this at the end of the day. I will say that I do think that maybe we need to be looking more at bringing back balance. I think it's
yes,
coming in slowly but surely, but
yes,
there's still an element that platforms do need to take responsibility
yes,
heavily on how
yes.
they're pushing information to people.
Very true. Let me comment something on a validation bit. Um, I've seen scenario where individuals post in this social media,
Mm-hmm.
and then for a period of time, maybe there is no any reaction, and then they go and delete the post.
Yes.
I getting. That is just in regard to the validation you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm posting a content that I really want an individual to see and maybe to say, yeah, nice pic or niaje and all those information. I getting. So
Mm-hmm.
there is a bit of validation that it's all over now the social media, and people wants to see more likes, more comments, more shares. I getting.
Mm-hmm.
So if there is less share, it simply means that your content is not doing great.
Mm-hmm.
um, Let me give you maybe my personal experience. If I do in my Facebook page,
Mm-hmm.
if I do a religious post, I getting. Trust me, I'll go back and be the first one to like that post after maybe 6 hours. I
Yes.
get it. But if I post a meme, some silly jokes and everything, I'll get like 90 comment, 5 shares, and all those things. I getting. So I really don't know what, because even the people you associate in real life won't like your religious post on a social platform. I get it. But one on one, you can really have a very healthy conversation about a particular topic. I get it. So I don't know your perspective about that in regard to people just paying keen attention to things which doesn't really matter. But now the things that really matter to you, for example, it seems it's just nothing to them.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I'd say it's on individual people,
Okay.
interest. We don't share interests,
Very
like,
true.
and that's the essence of human nature. That's the essence of even how platforms are designed, and the whole algorithm, is because they recognize that people have different interests,
Okay.
right? And I think this is the element of visibility that some platforms give over the other, is because they, at the end of the day, they just want to keep you on the app. So they design the system to make sure that you stay on the app. And I think this is the negative aspects that come to it, is that again, like you just said, if I post something of meaning to me, it doesn't get that much likes, and then I have to come back
Yeah.
and like my own post, maybe share it to my family and tell guys, come on, it's
Yeah, I
nothing
like this
bad,
comment.
you
I
know.
like this post. Yeah, sure.
you know
Yeah.
so but it's and this is why I talk about the balance, and I think that's why these digital platforms, as much as they're good for giving us new forms and new avenues of how we consume information, they're also, again, and we've discussed this a lot, is that they really do feed on the negative aspects that lie in human behavior,
Very true.
and their whole model is built on that. And this is why I did ask, is it platforms are now purely just business models? They're
Yes.
purely just for us to go on, buy this, feel a certain way about that, come back again and do it all over. And that's why, in my opinion, the connection element is what really is really lagging in how these things are being designed.
Yes. In regard to that, how often do we get positive news, even in this broadcasting house? You'll discover that even the content that they give is so negative. Right? Getting
Yes.
so and so killed, the wife, the kids, and everything. So my concern is, it by design or by default?
I think definitely by design. I mean, we spoke about emotional dependency,
Yes.
and you raised it earlier. And I was actually reading about this, I think it was 2 days ago. I think it's called the limbalisms. It's in your brain,
Okay.
basically. And that's the part that it kind of models emotions and how you see. And this is why, again, I say platforms are the ones that they're deliberately taking these things, is because they know if I see a story about, and this has happened, is that abduction or violence or things like that, they naturally provoke very strong
Emotions. Yeah,
emotions, very
true.
strong
Very true.
feelings. And they know for a fact, I'm going to go in, I'm going to command and say, this person should be arrested, or that person should be like that. And they're pulling at the negative aspects of people. It's
Yes.
no longer about appreciation. It's no longer about just genuinely having a good time on these platforms. It's purely about feeling like I've missed out on this. I wish I did more of that. And I think this is where I bring in the very heavy mental like ramifications that come with how these things are being designed. But at the same time, I think I agree with you. It's not like I'm going to delete them, you know? And this is the dependency aspect as well. Is now I'm so used to sending someone a message. I rarely call anymore. And calling is something that it seems like almost, why is this person bothering me when you can simply send me a text message
Okay.
to like tell me something very quickly. So I do think in terms of our day-to-day social interactions, it's put a barrier on certain things and alleviated the burden of certain things. So I think this brings us to back to the, is it connection or attention that comes with digital platforms? And I'll leave that to you as well to tell us your final take
Okay.
on what do you think really and truly, is it connection or is it attention? And how much of that goes side by side?
Okay. Just the way had stated it in our the beginning of the session, I think it's both. One has given rise to another. People go to this platform to seek connection. And over a period of time, they realize there's no real connection here. So they seek attention. Are you getting? And that's the reason why you'll find an individual over a period of time, if you, because we are building a profile, you will watch somebody changing. Are you getting? He started wearing in a decent manner, taking photo like this, and
That's
then
so
over a
true.
period of time, you'll see the kind of content now is being produced is moving to another direction, because over a period of time they've discovered this kind of information I'm giving with decency and everything is not selling. I getting. So I went to a platform seeking connection to look for friends and everything. But over a period of time, I've discovered no. There are no real friends here. I getting. I have like 5,000 Facebook friends. Out of these 5,000, I personally know 10 or even 20 who are real people. I getting. Others are just people I don't know. So initially, people wants to build connection. I getting, connecting people, making the world as a smaller place, so that you can just write a message to your friend in UK. You can send a video to your mom in reserve. You can send money. I getting. It was connectivity, but over a period of time, there's so much monetization that we see. Hey, how can we now um, change and get attention and be monetized? So you are getting me. Yeah, because now if much attention is given to your content, you can actually monetize it. And that's in all the platform you're seeing. Are you getting? If you are nowadays FB and YouTube pays people. I get it. It pays people with how much attention, just simply put, how much attention as users given to your content.
Yes.
I getting. You can call it likes, you can call it reach, you can give it any time, but it's just attention. I get it. So if that attention can be monetized the way it is being monetized now, the now need for building attention shifts. I getting for building connection shifts, and now comes to building attention, because you'll find people having accounts, pseudo accounts. I getting. They're not their real accounts, but they want, even in their pseudo accounts, they want people to comment there. I getting. They want people to like. They want people to share. I getting. So I think for me, I still stand. The initial idea was to build connection, which some platforms still build connection. Some dating platforms still build connection. I know of people who've built family from a social platform. Are you getting? They started as stranger, they build real connection, and they build family. But nowadays, majority, big verse is just attention. Are you getting? And that will be my take.
All right. It has been such a pleasure talking to you. I think we've gotten a lot of information out of you as we're
Okay.
talking about building connections, and that's all about connections, sharing and exchanging ideas and discussing about things.
Yes.
And, hopefully platforms can bring back that element. I will say it has worked in some ways, especially when we think about cultural visibility,
Very
you
true.
know.
Yeah.
We're bringing Africa to the world. That's a new discussion that's coming up. And well, it's not really coming up, it's always there. But but
True.
I do think as well there's always just a balancing approach that needs to be done.
Yes.
And yes, and maybe that's something we'll talk about more. And I
Yes, yes,
do
very
hope
true.
you visit my little booth studio every once
It
in a
will be a
while.
pleasure. Yeah, it will be.
Well, thank you guys
Yeah.
for sitting in with us, and I do hope you've enjoyed the discussion. And I
Yes.
look forward to seeing more of you. And maybe guys give me some input because I'm starting here on what to discuss. So, bye bye.
See you guys.